Some would say that all these rodents are the same, just little mice, owl food, but that's kind of the whole point. In terms of ecosystems, Washington's is one of the most diverse in the entire US. On the west side of the state, you have some of the wettest places in the entire world, with Mount Baker Ski Resort holding the world record for annual snowfall, with just under 100 feet in 1 year. While on the east side, sagebrush and prickly pear can be seen dotting the arid landscape.
This effect happens when weather systems moving east reach the Cascade Mountains and cool down. They tend to condense and drop as snow and rain in the mountains instead of ever reaching the east side of the Cascades. This is called the rain shadow effect. The western portion of central Washington, Vantage, is located right along the Columbia River here, and due to its location provides some of the most accessible sage steppe in all of Washington. Due to the barren, treeless landscape, the winds can pick up quite quickly, with 20 to 30 mile an hour gusts pretty typical for this area. These windy conditions can make it tough for the mammals, and even tougher for us trying to find the mammals, who sometimes get blown right off the road.
It is breezy! Like, little man here is blowing over. I saw him do a couple little turns, poor dude.
If you plan to visit Vantage, keep an eye out for a large herd of elk, smaller herd of bighorn sheep, and small groups of deer scattered across the hills. However, if you want to see smaller mammals and even reptiles, you'll have to head out after dark. In my experience, the best way to get these small mammals is go out on a warm night right after the sun is set and cruise down the pavement slowly.
Got house mouse here.
Yeah. By doing so, you might intersect a snake crossing the road or come upon a pocket mouse that has planted himself there and won't leave. This has happened a couple times for us, and it's always fun watching them blow around in the wind.
So we got a Columbia Plateau pocket mouse here.
Less frequent species, such as the northern pocket gopher, can also infrequently be found. Sometimes these guys are doing the same things, just scuttling along the road, looking like they're underground. Reptiles I've seen include desert nightsnake, northern Pacific rattlesnake, and gopher snakes, all on the pavement.
Pocket gopher.
The nightsnakes are very rare, but rattlesnakes are a frequent sight, and if you get out, you might have the opportunity to keep one of these guys from getting smushed.
It's so good at moving.
That's
Cool.
crazy.
That's super, super cool.
Across the Columbia, a little bit to the south, the habitat is quite similar, but the soil is much sandier with much finer sediments. Because of its finer sediments, this is one of the few areas in Washington state you can find Ord's kangaroo rat due to their preferences to burrow in fine sand.
Not an animal, but animal evidence. We got a little kangaroo rat burrow here. So the Ord's kangaroo rats make these. I actually got to watch one digging one a couple weeks ago.
Who do y'all think these bones belong to?
It's kind of gross.
So you got another Spadefoot here. Second one. A cute little guy.
They weren't on my radar earlier when we were looking for snakes, but
They're clearly out and about. Little flat guy.
we're just gonna move him the way that he's facing because we do not want these guys to get run over. They're very good at that.
Spadefoot rescue.
30 miles to the east, we find ourselves directly north of the town of Othello and directly south of the Potholes Reservoir. Here lies Columbia National Wildlife Refuge, one of the only locations with Washington ground-squirrel left. We'll talk about that species later. Not a mammal, although another extremely localized species, the only place in Washington state to find the introduced Colorado checkered whiptail is a mile away at the Lynn Cooley fishing access. Moving from the south end of the Potholes Reservoir to the west side, Potholes State Park serves as somewhat of an oasis for non-sage mammals. Species like this include the introduced eastern fox squirrel and the native North American porcupine. In late March, I went on an exclusive field trip with my class from Washington State University to visit the pen that has successfully brought pygmy rabbits back to Washington. So we walked around this enclosure. It's about 5 acres. And the pygmy rabbits have been really hard to see, but we've flushed maybe 6 or 7 at this point. And so I got photos, pretty poor photos of at least one. But the best part has been I finally got to see a Washington ground squirrel for my first time. I've heard them alarm call many times before, but seeing them is kind of hard, and so we lucked out and I spotted one kind of in the sage on top of a mound.
Sometimes I remember early on I'd be walking along and you'd see a bush just do this. And you're like, what was that?
Looking for bushy-tailed wood rats right now and sagebrush voles on this rocky slope here. I saw some sign earlier today, some pellets on the rocks that look good for wood rat, and so they should be around. It's excellent habitat. Absolutely insane. My state life for white-tailed jackrabbit on the side of the road at Jamison Lake. We're trying to get around this jackrabbit, but it's not getting out of the way for us.
He won't let us pass.
Yeah, he just keep blocking the... Dude, we just passed him and he's overtaking us again.